Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the video. And what do we have today? PROKHOROVKA, guys. PROKHOROVKA. And this map, I always like to tell everybody that this map for light tanks separates the men from the boys. It's really that good for light tanks, truly. However, everyone just considers this to be the best map for lights, and I'm not going to say it is like overall the best map for lights, because to be honest with you, I actually like to play on Westfield more than I do on this map. I just have such a place in my heart for Westfield that for whatever reason I actually like it more than PROKHOROVKA, because I guess on PROKHOROVKA it requires a lot more skill and knowledge of light tanks, knowledge of game mechanics, knowledge of the map itself, whereas on Westfield I feel like it's almost easier to do high spotting numbers depending on what the enemy team does, right? That's always going to be the case. And with Westfield, like, that whole one side of the map is so easy to play, really, from both sides. Like, there are two really good spots to go to at the beginning. And for whatever reason, I just really love that map. But anyway, guys, PROKHOROVKA, and what do we have? First off, let me just tell you that when I came to this position, I immediately moved away from here and back over to here. Now I was going to try for E1, because what did I see? I saw the M41D all the way over here on the map, getting initial spots on my team over here. So what I decided to do was actually run away from this area, try to go to E1, and then the Lorraine appeared out of nowhere, and I have no idea how this guy wasn't lit, but it was just the angle, right? It's just game mechanics stuff, and that's what happened. So M41D is now here, Defender is here, Lorraine is pushing in, and my team is just not quite damaging these guys fast enough. We have a lot of people back here, okay? We have an E25, Progetto 46, a Challenger, another E25, and an Artie. And for whatever reason, the Artie thinks he's safe, like, all the way up here. I'm not sure why this guy is so far up, and he's sitting in front of the Challenger. Like, if I were him, I'd be back here. But whatever, man. Eventually, this guy dies. I can tell you that he doesn't make it to the end of the game, so I don't think it was a good idea for him to sit here. But there's your Artie tip, guys. Just sit way in the back, right? Don't come here. Like, you don't need to. Just sit all the way in the back. But anyway, eventually the Lorraine is going to push in, and I need to run because people just aren't getting the damage in time, right? The Lorraine is still pushing in. He's like half HP, and I need to run. And when I do run, I try and keep these bushes in between me and him so that I'm unlit for as long as I possibly can be. I get a shot into him, I kind of dive down here, and now we're pretty good to go, really. The M41D died as well, so I'm going to try and come to E1, and sure enough, I'm able to make it in here, but we're just not really spotting much. We're really not spotting much, and that's going to be the way this game goes. It's not to be insulting to my team also, but I think my team was very passive in this game. Like, I was getting so frustrated. I will not lie to you guys. This ×5 XP weekend that we had last week, the weirdest things were happening in game, and I was even asking chat in my stream. By the way, I played this game after one of those streams. It was either on a Saturday or Sunday night, but I was asking the stream, like the chat, like, guys, is it just me or is it the teams? Because I'm having awful games tonight. Awful games. Some games I was getting no spotting, hardly doing any damage at all, and then finally at the end of the stream we ended with two really good games, I think in the LT and also the T54 lightweight, and I was like, yo guys, I'm out. I'm done. Like, I can't do this ×5 XP weekend at all anymore. Like, the teams are just so weird. But again, I was asking the chat, like, is it me? Am I just playing really bad because I had been taking a break from World of Tanks? The only time I was really playing was to stream for you guys 1 or 2 days on the weekend. And I'm sitting there like, man, I feel like I could just be playing so much better. And then I played this game Saturday. It must have been Sunday night. I played this game, and I'm like, wow, it's the teams. Like, it really is the teams. This game made me realize that there are just a lot of people that play every once in a while for the ×5 bonus, right? So you're getting a lot of people that are coming on, I guess, for that ×5 XP weekend. They got the email from Wargaming, ×5 weekend, whatever this week or weekend, and you just had a lot of players on that were not good at the game. and that can happen. And my team, man, like this whole game, they were just very, very passive. As we go through this video, just keep an eye on like the Super Hellcat, the Challenger, the E25, the AMX, and while these guys are kind of okay for now, you will see that like the Basante gets eliminated. There's really nothing going on in this whole area yet. All these guys were just sitting here, man, like doing nothing the whole game. And forgive me, guys. I mean, I know I keep talking about this, but when you're a good light tank player, man, it is just one of the most frustrating things. But anyway, moving on, guys. Let's talk a little bit more about this map. So I told you that we tried to go to E1. E1 is a very risky area, especially if you're not running low noise exhaust. You have to be very cautious about running low, or whether you're running low noise exhaust or not, because it's going to be 6% concealment, right? And you also have to be mindful is something you have to be mindful of is if you are facing someone that's going to have CVS. Now the light tank is eliminated, so likely we don't have to deal with that. But keep in mind at tier 8 and obviously 9 and 10, people can run CVS, and what that does is it cuts down your camo through bushes a lot, man. And also you're on the move camo, so these are just things you have to be very, very, very mindful of. Always keep them in mind. Now I'm pretty safe to come here. I already tried to come here before, and I'm pretty certain that I can make it here, so I wasn't too concerned. But I'm not spotting anything here. You notice that. Like, I'm not really getting the spots I need, and my team isn't really pushing in at all. And I can kind of understand, like, over here why they wouldn't be pushing in, but the whole game was like this, and eventually you will see that I almost just YOLO in at the end because there was, you know, we just ran out of time. But I'm going to sit here and try and get the spots, and then eventually I'm going to go back to active scouting because I just can't light anything here. And as it turns out, I believe there was an M2Y sitting right here in this area, and we were able to light him, and then the Tiger 1 appears in the back as well, and it was just me doing active scouting for most of the game. And with PROKHOROVKA, sometimes you have to active scout. The LT-432 is such a large tank that it's very tough to go through this bush line or through this bush line, right? I get spotted probably by the Progetto 54 or something like that. Maybe it was the TVP up here or something. But I get lit. However, we do light the M2Y in return, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to keep poking this ridge line because with the LT-432, the tank is so fat that you cannot fit it through these bush lines, guys. Compare that to, you can look up on my channel, the game I played in the T92 a couple of months ago. I had a video on this where I did like 11K spotting going through this bush line, and it was very, very simple. It was a very easy game. I could have played the game with, you know, cup of tea or coffee in one hand, right? And I would have been fine. But with this game, I was running around the map the entire game trying to spot people. And this is a great example of how certain light tanks are different than one another, right? The LT-432 is going to play very different from the Even 90 because the Even 90 can do this little meandering blah, 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 through the bush line. No one can spot you. The LT-432, not really the case. You're so fat that you can't make it through this bush line. However, you got a really good gun and you got decent armor, trollish armor, and that's where you can use the tank to your advantage, and especially against an Even 90, you could just ram those things. You know, you just ram them head on, get one shot into them, and they're gone off the map, right? So there's your advantage and disadvantage right there. Perfect examples of how the LT-432 and a tank like the Even 90 differ substantially, right? So always keep that in mind when you get on this map. If you're in the Even 90, you might not be playing it like I'm showing you here. You might have to play the game differently. And this is where people that play light tanks, or really any tank that's somewhat versatile, like the more versatile you could be in this game, the better off you're going to be. And the LT-432 is more versatile than the Even 90. But when it comes to PROKHOROVKA, like, I just have to emphasize this, guys. You might have to play different depending on the light tank you're in, right? And it's just, that's always going to be the case, right? Something else to note is on the LT-432, I normally run modified configuration. Modified configuration is very helpful for the LT-432, and I say every video of the LT-432 that I have on my channel, I tell you guys, run modified configuration. However, for games on PROKHOROVKA especially, sometimes Malinovka, sometimes Westfield, sometimes Murivanka maybe, I will switch from running modify configuration to low noise exhaust. So this way my two setups are CVS, low noise exhaust, and optics. That's what I'm running right now. Or on the LT, I swapped a low noise exhaust for modify configuration. Pretty much on every single map, I'm running the modified configuration, right? That's how I do it. That's usually what I like to do, because the LT432 benefits from it greatly because it's a matchbox. This tank will light on fire every single time someone shoots you. It feels like the tank is burning. So you have to keep that in mind, guys. I highly recommend that you run modified configuration, but when you are on a map such as Prokhorovka, you need to take the risk. You need to run low noise exhaust. You should run low noise exhaust optimally because it is the king of maps for light tanks, right? And you want to make sure that you have that extra concealment. So it's worth taking the risk and getting lit on fire in order to do so, right? So finally, I decide to go over to the east side of this map because everyone is over here. We spot the SU-100M1, and I'm thinking, all right, great, the team's going to push in now. You know, maybe I can go back and try and spot this stuff again, because there's just a lot going on over here, and I'd like to spot these guys. Now that people on the 0 line are pushing up on my team, I'm thinking I can spot like the 5-6 zone, and now these guys can get the crossfire like this, which if you guys know Prokhorovka, I'm sure you've seen this. People can get crossfire going both ways, and I'd like to now try and spot these guys in this area so that the T-77 and Progetto can bang, 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 hit these guys in this area. So I spot the T-34 here, just hoping these guys can get some shots. He backs down pretty quick. A good move and good awareness by the T-34-100. But I'm going to keep doing this. And what I can do is actually come up over here into the ditch again, because I'll be able to spot these guys even from the ditch, right? So that's what I'm doing. The E-25 is kind of starting to push in. He's got really good concealment, so this guy can push up. But I think I do remember the E-25 complaining that he was having to spot, and it's like, dude, you're the only one over here. So, I mean, I'm going to try and help you, but eventually, he says the TD shouldn't be spotting. For whatever reason, I remember this guy saying this. But I don't know if he just didn't realize that I've been running around the map the entire game. But eventually, like, it's going to come down to the wire, right, guys? We're at 2 minutes and 30 seconds in this game. And, like, where did the time go? Everyone's just been sitting around on the east side of this map. And again, not trying to insult anybody, but this team was just so passive. The CDA, man, the Super Hellcat, the Challenger, like, dude, get up here, man. Like, we need you up here. I know you're going to be targeted and all, but you guys got to start making a move. There's only 2 minutes left. Like, eventually you have to make a move, right, guys? So these guys do start to push in a bit, and what I'm going to do now is, because the 2-minute warning siren has gone off, I'm just going to go. Like, we need to spot this TVP. We need to start getting shots at the Leo. We need to take the hill so we can push in. We need to take something here. Like, there's 2 minutes left in the game, guys, and there's just not going to be enough time. I'm going to spoil it for you. This ends up being a draw. We just don't have the time. There's no time left, guys, and I'm going to start sacrificing all of my HP at once here against the TVP. I'm able to kind of bounce him there. I'm going right. I'm going left. I'm trying to do everything I can to throw this guy off, and I'm getting shots into him here. He's targeting me. I'm getting low. This guy is backing down. He's coming up over the ridgeline. Nobody has shots in him still. I don't know what's going on, guys. Everything's just a mystery in this game, and oh my goodness gracious, just what a wild game this was. Eventually, we're able to sneak up here, though, and get the cleanup kill on the TVP. This guy got my ammo rack. He obliterated me with heat shells, so we're able to get him there. Don't know if he had the gun depression, but it wasn't a smart poke by him. And 1 minute left, guys. We're just not going to have the time, and I don't know. Maybe it would have been smarter for me to try and YOLO down the west side. I'm not a fantastic player, guys, in this game. I feel like I'm better than a majority of light tank players, but man, this one was a hard one, and I feel like someone that really knew what they were doing probably could have won this game for their team in a light tank, but I just didn't know what else to do safely, guys. So eventually, when the 2-minute bell goes off, I'm YOLOing in, man. Like, I've had enough of this team. See, the AMX is still here. Look at the Hellcat, guys. Look where the Hellcat is. And it's just like, yo, what are you guys doing? You know? Like, it's just, to me, it's like, it's almost a joke. It's funny, man. Like, I'm laughing at these people. Like, what are these guys doing, man? Like, do they not realize there's 5 seconds left in the game? Like, at least try and go and get a shot off, man. But M2Y is kind of a tourist, man. I'm not sure what this guy is doing. I'm able to come up and over, clean this guy up, and we end up with 1300 damage and 5100 spotting, guys. So that's going to be the game. And man, was it just so wild, guys. I've just never seen such a lack of urgency from my team, right? It really was the case. But anyway, let's pause and we'll talk about this map a little bit, guys. I had someone tell me to hit the P key, and this really does smooth things out a lot, man. It just makes it a little slower. But let's talk about this map, guys. I'm going to go over this way and kind of discuss this with you. I know this is going to be a very long video because I also have the end plates, but let's come over here. We'll take a look real quick. And you can see the way this bush line is. See how thin it is? Like the LT432 would just not fit here. You can try and run through like this, maybe. But it's like once you get here, at that point I only had the E25 sitting over in this area, wasn't going to be enough support. One other play you can make on this map, if you win this, like if there's no one here, you can actually come up and over like this and try and get to this bush line. Works better for passive scouts. The entire map works better for passive scouts. But I've made this play before where I've actually gotten into this area unlit, and you can poke right at the very edge here, and you'll spot people that are sitting down in this area right here. Other than that, guys, you can try and get creative. I've seen light tanks get creative and passive scout this. You can actually get into bushes here. If you're in like an even 90, you can make this work and spot people on the hill. But by the time I got over here, we had no time left, and I was just YOLOing in right after TVP, right? There was just no time. But man, look at the detail on these planes. You see these planes? They're actually pretty detailed considering that they're not even really a part of the game. Like, they're detailed enough, man. They actually look decent. But anyway, guys, that's pretty much it for this map. You can, when you're active scouting this map, I suggest you try and do it like I did. You can run this ridge line. Just be really careful about going in here because you don't want to get YOLO'd. People that have clips will sometimes come in here, like auto loaders, and they'll want to take this, like Progettos and stuff like that. They'll clip you out, GSOR 1008 or whatever it's called, 1000B, 100B, whatever the heck it's called. But you got to be careful of tanks like that will come in here and clip you out, man. It's happened to me so many times, but in this particular game, their team was also just, they had a lot of tourists on their team, so I just knew that I was safe to kind of make active scouts here, and sometimes, or active passes, and sometimes that's what you have to do on these types of maps, guys. You got to make active passes. You got to spot where your team is too. Like, I think if I came over here a little sooner, maybe the game also could have been different, but you can't be like 3 places at once, right? Like, I was the only light tank on my team, and I think I just needed a little more assistance from the team, and that's really it. Once my team won this hill over here, we started going after the people that were in this area. I wanted to light this area because they get the crossfire, so always be mindful of that crossfire, guys. Pay attention to how these bushes are. Once you understand the game mechanics, take a look at these bush lines, and understand how they work and how the concealment and foliage and all that is going to work for the current tank you're in. Because if you're in an even 90, you can get really fancy and creative in here. I've done it before. You can check my other video on PROKHOROVKA with the T92 recently. We got really creative with the T92, and you can do it. Or maybe it was the Senlik or something like that. Or I'm sorry, the LHMT. No, it was definitely the T92. So something to note. And other than that, like if you're in heavies and hold down tank destroyers or whatever, don't be afraid to just poke this ridge line, man. You don't got to sit back here or anything like that. And then from over here, you also have the crossfire and the hill. So there's not a whole lot going on in this map. This is like where you really should be focusing on spotting people. This is your hold down ridge line. This is your crossfire zone right here. And then you can try and passive scout this area. If you're already, dude, sit way back here. Don't even bother doing what our M40 did. Sit way in the back here, way in the back here. Don't bother, man. And it's the tank destroyers, like I would urge you if you're playing a TD just to sit back in this area. You can try and do what the CDA did or whatever. This isn't a bad area either to sit right here. People are going to crest this ridge line. You can get creative with where you want to sit, guys. But anyway, I hope that helps you on Prokhorovka. Let's get into the end plates really quick, guys. I know this is a long video, but we'll go through these very quick. 1496 damage. We ended up having 800 experience it led to, and we got one badge here. Let's see what it was. This was a scout badge or something like that. 5369 spotting, 1496 damage were the totals, guys. I gave it my best shot, but unfortunately we ended up with the draw, and that's pretty much it for this game, guys. Again, we ended up with, what, over 7,000 combined, so it wasn't like it was a bad game. It's just, dude, I wanted to win this one so bad for my team. And there you go, 15-minute game, was a draw. We got a little bit of coin out of it, obviously, because we were in the LT 432, and 5k spotting is going to get you that coin. And there you go, guys. Again, modified configuration, dude. Okay, I can't emphasize this enough, guys. Run this on the tank. Unless you're playing on Prokhorovka, like I just showed you, you can switch over if you have that secondary loadout. And that's all, guys. So hope you learned something. Sub if you did learn something, and if you want to see more, and like the video, guys. You know, it really helps. I swear, like, when the more likes my videos get, the more they're recommended, and I can see that by the way the views are, but also the way the view count kind of curves up as the video gets a few more likes, and then it kind of peaks and then it comes back down. So if you want to help me out, guys, I really do appreciate it. Just hit the thumbs up. It's free. The subscribe is free, guys, and it really helps me out and makes these videos get recommended more, because that's really all I'm doing it for, right? Like, I'm not monetized or anything, so just want to help you guys out. All right, I will catch you guys for the next one. I'll be streaming. It's Friday night right now, and I'll probably release this tomorrow, but we're going to be streaming this weekend. Hope you enjoy, guys. I'll catch you for the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.